The headlines. Solomon Islands is still far from reaching its 5% economic target. The Makira province community in Honiara celebrated the province's second appointed day. And Australia announces a funding support of $9.1 million Solomon dollars for the procurement of essential medical supplies. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Andrea Maahanwa. Solomon Islands is still far from reaching its 5% economic target. Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Solomon Islands, Reynold Moveni, announced this at the National Economic Summit in Honiara. He said effective strategies and policy actions are needed to achieve the target under the National Development Strategy, NDS.
So we are still quite maybe a couple of miles away yet. We're still below the target. Achieving the NDS target, in my view, is possible if right growth strategies, strong political will, and decisive policy actions are taken now.
The country faces numerous challenges such as geographic dispersion and heavy reliance on imports.
Of course, there are some challenges that may act as a drag to us meeting the NDS target. These factors are, number one, geographical dispersion of our provinces. Now, we are a country made out of provinces scattered over kilometers of ocean. This scatteredness means high shipping, transportation cost. Number two, high dependency on imports, such as fuel and rice. Number three, over-reliance on few commodity exports like round logs. And number four, shallow financial market and small domestic market. And this is clearly worrying because an equality or a near equality of these two growth rates mean that our income per head or GDP per capita or living standards will remain stagnant.
Implementing moderate or ambitious economic reforms is crucial as the country works to enhance economic growth and improve people's standard of living. Senior economist at the World Bank Solomon Islands, Lodevik Smets, explained improving human capital is a step in the right direction.
This is looking at the economy from a bird's eye view, from a macro view. Later on, we can disaggregate and we can translate those findings to the sectors. So what are the main takeaways? Improvements in human capital can have large economic payoffs. Secondly, I've talked about the labor force and the effective labor force. So if we are inclusive and if we allow women and the youth and persons with disabilities to engage in economic activity, you can grow your labor force and your economy can grow more.
He adds, having a viable market environment and enhanced productivity would help boost long-term economic growth.
A third takeaway from this analysis, which is one analysis, is there is a need to improve the business environment and attract investment, because investment is a fundamental growth driver, and we've shown what investment can do. And then finally, productivity is a third important aspect for growth. And it measures many things, especially in this kind of model. There's other models out there, but in this kind of model, it could mean connectivity. It could mean digitalization, which is high on the government's agenda. It could mean better urban planning so that the CBD in Honiara works more efficiently. It could mean trade facilitation, unlocking land reforms, policies and institutions, and access to finance. We can again discuss which productivity improvements will get us the greatest bang for our buck.
The Makira Ulawa province community in Honiara celebrated the province's second appointed day. Linton Kere attended the event and filed this story.
The Makira Ulawa community in Honiara held an official program to commemorate the province's 41st second appointed day at the Fopa village on Saturday. The second appointed day celebrations marks the establishment of the local provincial government for Makira. Delivering his remarks, Member of Parliament for East Makira, Honorable Derek Wasi, said the event is a time to reflect on past challenges.
As we reflect on their vast vision and sacrifice, let us look forward to the future we are building together. May this occasion be also a time of reflection on the events of the past and to make amends where needed for the good of our beloved province and the Solomon Islands as a whole. Makira province is a region rich in natural beauty, cultural diversity, and resilient communities. Our people are our greatest asset, and it is our collective duty to ensure that every individual has the opportunity to thrive. We have made some progress over the years in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and economic development, but there is still much work to be done.
He calls on the people of Makira to work together to develop the province.
As we celebrate the 41st Second Appointed Day, let us reaffirm our commitment to working together for the betterment of Makira province. Let us honor our past by striving for a brighter future where every citizen can live with dignity, security, and hope. May I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all who have contributed to the development of our province. Your dedication and hard work are driving forces behind our achievements. Let us continue to move forward with unity, resilience, and a shared vision for a prosperous Makira province.
Linton Kereone, SIBC TV.
Now, Guadalcanal province last week also celebrated its second appointed day. Eliza Kukutu reports.
Guadalcanal province celebrated its 40th second appointed day anniversary at the DC Park in East Honiara on Thursday. The theme of the celebration was embracing good governance and participation of Guadalcanal province. In his address, Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele called on the province and its people to continue to work together with the national government.
I thank the people of Guadalcanal for hosting major investments in our country, such as the GPOL, Gold Ridge, Tina Hydro, but most importantly, Honiara City. The population of Honiara has doubled between 2009 and 2019. The population count in 2019 puts the population of Honiara at 129,000 people. The increase in Honiara's population has put a lot of pressure on Guadalcanal because of people coming to Honiara in search of jobs and economic opportunities. Guadalcanal, Honiara City, and the national government must seriously look into this issue and find ways to address it. I would like to encourage Guadalcanal province and its people continue to work with the national government. As I've said at the beginning, the GNAT government stands ready to work with your government and the people of Guadalcanal to improve the lives of our people, our province, and our country.
Meanwhile, Guadalcanal Premier Honorable Willie Atu said that the day provides the opportunity to reflect on past experiences and to map new directions for the province.
This annual occasion provides us the opportunity to reflect on the province's past experiences, present happenings, and map new directions for the future of our beloved provinces. For Guadalcanal province, the past 40 years were marked with many achievements, as well as challenges. For this reason, I would like to thank God for his leading and providence for the people of Guadalcanal. Secondly, I would like to thank all the past executive government, premiers, and leaders of this great province for leading our province and her people in the past 40 years. On the same note, I would like to thank all the hardworking teachers, medical workers, police officers, public servants, church workers, traditional leaders, and parents. I thank you all sincerely for your leadership and the service to the people of Guadalcanal in the last 40 years. This includes those who have gone before us and those of us who are still in active service throughout the province. Thank you so much indeed. I would like to think that we, the people of Guadalcanal, are resilient people and determined to work hard to improve and create better futures for our children and province in a peaceful and united country. For this reason, I would like to thank you, the people, this morning for gracing and blessing this country.
The celebration also saw the launching of the Guadalcanal for Good Governance policy. For SIBC TV, I'm Eliza Kukutu.
Still on the Guadalcanal province second appointed day, Guadalcanal Premier Willie Atu has reaffirmed the province's intention for a federal government system. Eliza Kukutu with the details.
Guadalcanal Premier Honorable Willie Atu has reaffirmed the province's intention for a federal government system. Speaking during the province's second appointed day celebration, Honorable Atu said that the current system can no longer provide for its growing population. He said they are now setting up a state government office to work with the government on its preparations to statehood.
TPA is not a devolution of power, but a formal request for the change of constitution to federalism, and not just a devolving of power by the national government. The current system limit Guadalcanal province to provide efficient and effective services to the growing population of 170,000 people in Guadalcanal and counting. We are glad, Honorable Prime Minister, that the national government has federal draft constitution in place. And with the passing of the act last year, we understand that the policy unit from your office of the Prime Minister has begun the consultation to the formation of the Constitutional Assembly committees leading to the federal constitution reform. Honorable Prime Minister, in alignment to this preparation, I wish to confirm that this 10th Assembly is setting up a state government office in the provincial office to work together with your government, Mr. Prime Minister, to make this become a reality of Guadalcanal province by 2026. Again, I must re-emphasize here that Guadalcanal province and its people becoming a state in 2026 is not negotiable. Honorable Prime Minister, on this note, I want to remind our people of Guadalcanal and our friends not to misinterpret the concept of statehood and national unity. This has nothing to do with divisions and differences. Rather, it is to do with managing our resources to cater for our growing population.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele acknowledged the Premier's call for a federal government system.
Honorable Premier, on the issue of state government or federalism, I hear you very loudly. I hear the sentiments that you have expressed on behalf of Guadalcanal province and its people in terms of your desire to become a state government. And as you have rightly said, this is not new. There is a lot of history behind this desire. It is important, though, that we also understand the implications of becoming a state government and the obligations that are required therein. So I'm happy to note that you will be setting up a state office within the provincial office to look into this. As you know, the former DCJ government is serious in terms of its commitment to state government and federalism. And therefore, as you have rightly pointed out, we've amended the Constitution to cater for the Constituent Assembly. My government is working to sort out the mechanics, the processes that will be involved in terms of getting the Constituent Assembly to work on the processes, in terms of consultations and other requirements that will be required. It is also important that every province, including Guadalcanal province, as I've said, do understand the draft federal constitution so that we can continue or so that we can start working on our state constitutions. I think this is an important piece of legislation as well, the state constitutions, how it will relate to the federal constitution, but how it will also relate to the necessary constituency and area council, if we would like that, how that state constitution will connect or will align with these other constitutions, both at the top in terms of the federal constitution, but also below the states in terms of constituency and area council.
Eliza Kukutu for SIBC TV.
Australia announces a funding support of $9.1 million Solomon dollars for the procurement of essential medical supplies. Alex Tadamu with more.
Australia has announced a funding support of $9.1 million Solomon dollars for the procurement of essential medical supplies. Australian High Commissioner to Solomon Islands, Rod Hilton, made the announcement in Honiara on Friday. The announcement coincided with the handing over of a Land Cruiser for the mental health clinic, a return truck and 6 laptops for Helena Goldie Hospital in Munda, Western Province.
Australia's support to the health sector is a very significant part of our development aid program to the Solomon Islands. We are proud to be the largest partner in the health sector, and we look forward to continuing our collaboration through the remainder of this year and in future years. But the thing we are most proud of is not ceremonies like today, is not talking about all the technical things. It is the fact that when you, me come together, we can achieve real difference. And that there is no more important or real difference than what we can make in the health sector. Because our work today, and there are announcements, and there'll be other announcements in the future, but our work both today and under this partnership is about saving lives.
Meanwhile, Minister of Health and Medical Services Dr. Paul Bosawai acknowledged the Government of Australia for its ongoing support for the country.
Assistant Secretary and Your Excellency, the Ministry of Health is indeed so very grateful and indebted to the government and to the good people of Australia who continue to provide the health sector with such substantial assistance and support to the health sector over many years. You have supported the health sector equally during normal times as well during not normal times, including emergencies and during recent COVID-19 pandemic between 2020 and 2022. You are always there and readily on standby.
Acting Medical Superintendent of Helena Goldie Hospital, Dr. Raymond Dixon, said the donation is a blessing for the hospital.
So usually one of the biggest problems with Sagarana is transportation. Even a Sagaran vehicle. And to hire a vehicle can be very, very expensive. With the limited amount of grant you have to take monthly from government. Also, what kind of things are simple. Really hard more for hospitals are able for meeting. So that is why this for the tracker was one for a big blessing now. Now we don't have to go looking for truck anymore. We have our own vehicle. All we have to worry about is must drive and go there.
As highlighted, the timely and crucial funding to the national medical stores will be used to procure emergency and gap orders for life-saving essential medicines. The vehicle donations is also timely, as mentioned by Dr. Dixon. Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
Clearing up the Honiara city boundary case is one of the priority issues for the Guadalcanal provincial government. Sharon Anau reports.
Clearing up the Honiara city boundary case is one of the priority issue for the Guadalcanal provincial government. Guadalcanal Province Premier Willie Atu told SIBC News Honiara town has now expanded into the province's customary land. He said this has affected the province's property rate collection.
Side law boundary with them city council. Yeah. Also plan de looking also expansion lo Honiara and Buwad lo customary land. An opportunity for work with the city council and maybe the national government. How na ba yung sabi awesome when awesome because some come as a challenge to us as well. When we go to collect property rates, people say you're part of city council, but then just man lo city council go, maybe part of Honiara. So it sort of causes confusion, So apart from the boundaries we have democratic GPS, it's just awesome GPS imaginary line on normal. But we would be one thing that we would like to do is to put a physical boundary. Make them distinct when a Honiara end, when a Guadalcanal start also. Make them clear to everyone.
Honorable Atu said current laws in the federal constitution is not clear on the matter. He adds they will be working closely with Honiara City Council to address the issue.
Currently, you go by the federal draft constitution. There is an option there of federal draft constitution between Honiara City Council and Guadalcanal, but that's behind later. But me as an ex-official member of the City Council as well. So by me expressing him in the City Council, that him important for both Honiara and Guadalcanal province to come to an understanding. Also, make him garden. Also, yeah, it should be a win-win case for all of us. Yeah.
Sharon Nanau, SIBC TV.
The National Economic Summit successfully concluded in Honiara on Friday. Sharon Nanau filed this story.
The National Economic Summit successfully concluded in Honiara on Friday. Speaking to local media at the summit closing, Minister of Finance and Treasury, Honorable Manasseh Sokovare, says the dialogue held will help government in its work to build the country's economy.
The whole summit is to bring in Ogat expertise first of all. People bring Ogat experts, I'm with the World Bank, ADB, and what bilateral partners play income. I've done a lot of studies about Solomon Islands, a long time. And it's a lot of data and a lot of information about Solomon Islands, which I'm not really guiding the way. Policies are formulating and the emphasis of development that in driving this country is not really driven by a lot of research that data that they put out in most of it. So we invite him again to come and do a presentation and for summarizing the current economic situation in the country and for identifying what the primary barriers and for why not grow. So you look in the growth rate for Solomon Islands, oh my what? And we say no course for the last 80 years, and also we also want to foster collaboration between government and the private sector and also for development partners with me and also those are what we call them what players in the economy. Because government formulate policies, we call them what the players who play with the government, and of course the private sector is the main, we call them what are the engine.
Meanwhile, Minister for National Planning and Development Coordination, Honorable Rexon Ramofafia, says the discussion is very helpful for his ministry in meeting the country's national development strategy.
Listening from people, especially like this Minister of Finance has highlighted that especially our private sector and also the partners that you need together, especially in terms of how we like for addressing especially our economy. Like the Minister of Finance also mentioned, and in terms of our target, especially to meet the objectives of our national development strategy, we are quite bad to reach, especially in terms of our growth. Like you mentioned, our average growth every year is around less than 3%, 2.5%, and then if we look at our target law NDS by 2025, that is next year, we should grow our economy by 5%. Yes. And that one we quite far, especially to reach those objectives. And so this summit is quite important. And yesterday and today is really something that the government taking seriously in terms of our focus.
SIBC News understands the National Economic Summit is a key aspect of the government's 100-day policy. Sharon Nanau, SIBC TV.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and External Trade is looking at expanding into other sectors within the Niue labor market. Last week, Solomon Islands and Niue signed the Interagency Understanding, IAU, for the Niue Solomon Islands Labor Mobility Pilot, which allows local retired nurses to work in the Niue health sector. Speaking to SIBC News, Permanent Secretary Colin Beck says they will be looking at broadening the arrangement into other sectors.
The new arrangement is basically beginning to start first time lo side lo retired nurses lo health sector. Now the health sector, I think not only for kada nurses here to work both lo aged care lo new but also to do work lo hospital as well lo new. Now that is just the beginning. We intend to. We are trying to broaden this arrangement here to cover him over other sectors. Now, I think it depends on the reputation lo kata nurses blame. Our intention is basically to move into other sectors that includes kata technical areas or other trades. I'm talking about plumbers, carpenters, also private sector blow new way too. So not only in the public sector blow new way, but also the private sector.
The IAU between Solomon Islands and Niue is the first managed intra-Pacific labor mobility program for the Pacific. Beck says for Solomon Islands, it is also one of the government's 100 days policy aims to venture into labor markets within the region.
Niue is also part of the government's 100-day policy, where Mifala try to broaden him. At the moment, we've been focusing on New Zealand market as well as the Australian market. We are now trying to focus on other markets. That includes Niue. We have had also other countries who have registering interest blogger for workers. And that one too, we will be making trips to other Pacific countries also to look at opportunities there.
And now the latest in sports with Jan Kaukui.
Solomon Airlines, together with the Ministry of Culture and Tourism Solomons, announced 12th of October as the 2024 Fly Solomons Peace Marathon Day. Speaking to local media recently, Solomon Airline Commercial Manager John Wapere says this year's event will be hosted at some of the key World War II sites in East Honiara.
Yeah, the Peace Marathon is one of our annual event that has been running since 2009. So it's kind of a sporting event that links in with our World War II history. And today we're really excited to announce to everyone that we're going to be hosting this event again this year. Mifala picking 12th of October as a date that we are working towards to host this event. There are a few changes where Banfala Dream. Firstly, we are planning to have the event in East Honiara, and the reason being that we want to associate the Peace Marathon with some of our key World War II sites, such as Bloody Ridge and Hells Point, Alligator Creek, and Faitawa, Nosem. Solomon Islands, Jimmy got of a really rich World War II history, so we want to see this come out a bit more in the Peace Marathon. So that's kind of the idea behind that. And for Mifalo Solomon Airlines, we want to be able to attract people to come and visit us and participate in this very important event. It's a regional event, so we hope that if we can promote it, give people enough time, we can have some interest from those around the Pacific region for come to, maybe from Vanuatu or Fiji or Australia, or places where we fly lohem.
Meanwhile, Travel Solomon's Managing Director, Karen Foimoa, explains the rundown of the different categories of the event.
So basically, the Solomon Airlines Peace Marathon, we started in 2009, and it was from SMI, the west side, all the way to Bonege. This time, as John mentioned, it will be starting east of Guadalcanal from Tenerife School, and then the half marathon is from Tenerife School all the way to Bloody Ridge to hill number 1, which is Mukande, the Japanese side. There's two sides, there's Japanese and American, but we'll do the turnaround for the half marathon, Bloody Ridge, hill number 1. We also have the No More Fun Run events always. There's the 2-kilometer fun run for children and just those who just wanted to have fun. The 5-kilometer, the 10-kilometer, and then plus the half marathon.
Mrs. Foimo adds they will be working with the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force to ensure the event safety.
Security-wise, we always work with our police. So we'll be working with our Royal Solomon Islands Police Force as well as Guadalcanal Province Police. So security-wise, always in the past, it's all good. And we also, for the distance alone, we follow every kilometer, it's water stations. So there will be all the volunteers all the way to Bloody Ridge, and we also will be working with communities in New Zealand Camp and Bloody Ridge area, so we get communities involved as well. We'll also be working with the students in Tenerife School, so some will be participating in the running, some will be other volunteers as well, so it will be fun for everyone, either you're volunteering or joining the events, fun run and half marathon.
The event is also part of the country's tourism promotion. Yan Kaukui for SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.